Here's how to get items way quicker in Mario Kart World. I might be dumb, but I just learned if you spam L after hitting an item box, you can skip most of the animation and get items super quick. This can be helpful if an opponent's item is getting close or you need to take a quick shortcut, but if you spam too much, you could accidentally use the item and drive into a wall. I found that pressing L once after about 2 seconds works best, and this also works with food bags. This can be a game changer and is super good to know for knockout tour shortcuts, or if you need some items quick to avoid blue shells. Subscribe please. This Switch 2 case could break your console. The company Dbrand, popular for skins and cases for various tech products, and leaking the Switch 2 early then getting sued by Nintendo, created the Switch 2 Kill Switch case. This case wraps around your console and Joy-Cons to protect them, and it creates a more comfortable grip for the controllers. The problem is, this grip sometimes obstructs the side of the Joy-Con where the magnets connect, making it really easy for the controllers to fall off the console. Dbrand released a statement basically calling everyone dumb for holding the Switch 2 wrong, then followed up saying they're working on a solution that will be decided on July 10th, and all previous buyers will get an upgraded Joy-Con grip at no cost. Subscribe please. We might have just got our first hint at the upcoming Pokemon Lego collab. The new Lego vending machine set that just came out features some cool building techniques and exclusive minifigures, but it also comes with a new type of brick, these half spheres. They're held together in the middle with Technic pins and are the perfect size to house minifigures, which leads people to believe these new bricks will be used as Pokeballs in the upcoming collab. In the Privet Drive set that released the same day, we see a modified version of the same spheres used for Aunt Margaret's body, proving this isn't just a one-off piece made for the vending machine set. Other than the potential Pokeballs, all we know about the upcoming sets is a release date 2026, but comment what sets you'd like to see from the collab. Subscribe please. Bad news, the price of Switch 2 accessories is going up. Currently, a year membership costs $45 and the expansion pass costs even more at $64. But as of August 1st, the price of these services is going up by $5 and $6 respectively. Even worse, the price of consoles, games, and accessories is going up, but there is good news. Luckily, these prices will only increase a bit, and these price increases are only in Canada. Subscribe please! When will we see Switch 2 special editions? The original Switch got its first one more than 6 months after release, which came out with Splatoon 2. The OLED took 10 months to get a special edition, but the Switch Lite got its first less than a month after release. Special editions always relate to a new game coming out, and looking at the Switch 2's future releases, I'd assume our first special edition will be for Legend ZA in November. We'll probably also get one for Metroid Prime 4, but we don't have a release date for that yet. Subscribe please! Here's how to make a Mii on the Switch 2. Open the settings and scroll down to the Mii section, then press create/edit Mii. This Mii maker is similar to the old one, but with a few changes. Here you can see and edit all your previous Miis, but if you scroll down, you can create new ones from scratch, just like the old Mii maker. On the Switch, there's a new feature where you can choose a lookalike from a big batch of randomly generated Miis, which can then be edited, or if you don't like any of them, you can reopen it for a new batch. And if you're in person with another Switch user, you can have a copy of one of their Miis by using the send/receive function. Subscribe please. Here's the most popular games on the Switch 2 after its first month. In the top 15, the bottom 10 is a good mix of first and third party games and some big shakeups from the previous weeks. Bravely Default and No Man's Sky, which have been in the top 15 since launch, are now gone, being replaced by Tony Hawk Pro Skater making the list for the first time, and Nintendo Switch 2 Welcome Tour making its return. For the first time since launch, there's no Breath of the Wild showing in the top 5, now the Upgrade Pack and Switch 2 Edition in 7th and 8th respectively, leading behind the Tears of the Kingdom Switch 2 Edition in 6th, and making the top 5 for the first time is Split Fiction. The Tears of the Kingdom Upgrade Pack and Mario Kart World swap places, with Tears of the Kingdom falling and Mario Kart World climbing to 3rd. Cyberpunk 2077 holds the silver, and still the most popular game on the Switch 2 for a second week, we have Fantasy Life: The Girl Who Steals Time. Place your bets in the comments and see you next week. Subscribe please. Pokemon Go just dropped a new teaser, and some big things literally are on the way. First off, Pokemon Go is releasing its first set of Paradox Pokemon from Scarlet and Violet. This teaser features Iron Treads and Great Tusk, but I'm sure more will follow. The Gigantamax Pokemon from Sword and Shield have been slowly making their way to the game, and here we see that Gigantamax Butterfree coming next. And in the background, we see this thumbs up icon that could be hinting at emos coming in the future that could possibly be used during raids or elsewhere. All of this is for the 9th anniversary, and I'm sure we'll see more, but the artist cooked with this one. Subscribe please. Nintendo is making more shoes. Back in March, Nintendo collaborated with Nike to make these Donkey Kong Air Max 1s, but today they announced another partnership, this time with Crocs. In 2024, we saw the Pokemon Crocs collection, but on August 26th of this year, the new Animal Crossing collection will release. 4 products have been announced, the classic clogs in both adult and kid sizes. These come with Jibbits, and we see 3 different Jibbit sets. The prices are a little steep, and I already got a pair, but a fossil Jibbit would match pretty nice. Comment if you're picking these up. Subscribe please. Nintendo is now releasing exclusive profile pictures on the Switch 2. Almost a year after the first and only Summer Night Splatfest in Splatoon 3, the game is having another one starting tomorrow that's based on modes of travel. Players who participate in this event and have an active Nintendo Switch Online subscription will receive these 4 exclusive profile pictures for free. This event also had some exclusive gear to the game that was originally from Splatoon 2, and to my knowledge, it can only be obtained during the event, which ends on July 13th at 6 p.m. I haven't cracked open Splatoon 3 in a while, but comment if your team traveled by land, sea, or air, because I might actually play this one. Subscribe please. Mario Kart World and Donkey Kong Bonanza were supposed to release on the original Switch. A few weeks ago in an Ask the Developer interview, we learned that Mario Kart World prototyping started back in 2017, where they started planning the open world. In a recent IGN interview with the producers for Donkey Kong Bonanza, we learned that it too was planned for the original console, but like Mario Kart World, they pushed it back to take advantage of the Switch 2's power. Looking at the lineup for the Switch 2, Legend ZA and Tomodachi Life are both dual releases. Metroid Prime 4 was announced in 2017. The only original games designed for the Switch 2 are Dragon Drive and Nintendo Switch 2 Welcome Tour. I'm really excited for the future Switch 2 games because they'll start development ground up on the Switch 2, and they'll probably feel and look a lot more advanced. Subscribe please. Nintendo is discontinuing their game vouchers. Nintendo Switch game vouchers are a perk exclusive to Nintendo Switch Online subscribers that lets you redeem 2 games for $100, which if used effectively could save you $20. With the library of games to choose from being pretty big, including most first-party games like Pokemon and Zelda, these are a great deal if you like digital games, but as of January 30th, 2026, Nintendo is shutting them down. This is probably because vouchers can't be used on games exclusive to the Switch 2, which could cause confusion for people buying them on the new console, and I don't know anyone who actually used them. With Nintendo closing down the gold point system a few months ago, and now this, it seems they're trying to erase some of the Switch's great money-saving features. But if you still plan on buying some game vouchers, they'll only expire 12 months after purchase, just make sure to stock up before January 30th. Subscribe please. A new Nintendo collab is here, this time with ice cream business Baskin-Robbins. Back in September of 2023, the two first collabs starting a sort of summer tradition in Japan. For the last 2 years, Baskin-Robbins has created a limited run menu and some exclusive merch, and this year's no different. This time around, we see a new flavor based on Mario among lots of new desserts, and if you buy anything Mario related, you can get one of 4 exclusive stickers. You have until the end of July to get any of these treats, but you'll have to go to Japan as they're only available there. Subscribe please. Here's the most popular games on the Switch 2 after its 6th week. In the top 15, once again there's a 6-7 split between first and third party games, with the top 5 being completely different. Rune Factory, Guardians of Azuma, and Fast Fusion, both of which have been in the top 15 since launch, are now gone, and Nintendo Switch 2 Welcome Tour, which made a comeback, is gone again, being replaced by Shadow Labyrinth, squeaking in at 15th. After being in the top 5 since launch, the Tears of the Kingdom upgrade pack and Cyberpunk 2077 have fallen out of the podium. Mario Kart World still hanging on, but in its lowest spot yet in 5th, and Fantasy Life: The Hero Who Steals Time has fallen from 1st to 4th, now for the top 3. New to the list, we have Tony Hawk Pro Skater 3+4 Deluxe Edition stealing the bronze, climbing from 9th to 2nd we have the base game, and in 1st we have Donkey Kong Bonanza, which isn't even out yet. I guess a lot of people pre-ordered it. Place bets in the comments and see you next week. Subscribe please. Be careful when buying secondhand games for your Switch 2, your console could get banned. We already learned that hacking the Switch 2 can result in a permanent ban from online services, even the eShop, but law-abiding users also need to be careful. Pointed out by this Reddit user, if the previous owner of a game dumps it onto a ripper, basically a device that copies a game to an SD card, if you put the completely unaltered legal cartridge in your Switch 2, your console could get banned even though you did nothing wrong. Luckily in this case, Nintendo Support was helpful and got this user's system unbanned, but make sure to be careful when it comes to buying secondhand Switch 2 hardware, especially the consoles, because they could come pre-banned too. Check out this video. Subscribe please. Donkey Kong Bonanza is kind of Mario Odyssey 2. In a recent Ask the Developer interview, we learned that the main mechanic in Donkey Kong Bonanza stems from a random test ran in Mario Odyssey, where the team wanted to see what would happen if everything in the game could be destroyed. They did this by adding Knuckle-Attack's hands to a Goomba, then tested them out by grabbing and throwing chunks of wall, which the developers thought was really satisfying to play with and would work well as a core game mechanic. The same team that worked on Mario Odyssey already wanted to make a 3D Donkey Kong game, and with his current moveset and strength, the destruction mechanic only made sense, so the two ideas merged into one, leading to the main mechanic in Donkey Kong Bonanza. They also talk about other ways the game took inspiration from Mario Odyssey and why they made the decision to change Donkey Kong's appearance. I'll link the whole interview in the description if you want to check it out. Subscribe please. We finally know who's playing Link and Zelda in the live-action Legend of Zelda movie. Ever since the announcement that casting for Link, Zelda, Impa, and Ganon has already been decided, people have been theorizing who will fill the roles, and thanks to the Nintendo Today app and a tweet by Shigeru Miyamoto, we now know half that cast. Link will be played by Benjamin Evans Ainsworth, and Zelda will be played by Bo Bregason, both of which are younger British actors born and mostly raised in the UK, so it seems the British accents introduced in Breath of the Wild are making a return, but we still don't know if Link will have any dialogue. Judging off the voices in Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom, although Zelda has a strong British accent, both Impa and Ganon's voices aren't as distinct, so anyone's on the table to play them. The previous release date of March 26, 2027 has been pushed back a bit, now releasing on May 7th, so Nintendo, Sony, if you're still looking for someone to play Beetle, but Kamahiwan in the movie. Subscribe please. Donkey Kong Bonanza is out now. Here's everything you need to know. The game costs $70 USD or $100 for me here in Canada, and it released to amazing reviews with 9 out of 10s from Metacritic and Screen Rant and a 10 from IGN. This is the first Donkey Kong game to release since 2014 with Tropical Freeze on the Wii U, and Nintendo hasn't developed a DK game in over 20 years since 2004's Jungle Beat. Bonanza was created by the same team that worked on Mario Odyssey and has open world sandbox-like levels similar to that game, but now basically everything can be destroyed. Releasing at the same time came the new Donkey Kong and Pauline amiibo, which is $30 in both the States and Canada. This amiibo unlocks an exclusive costume for Pauline, and older DK amiibo work too, giving you some useful items. Subscribe please. Amiibo prices are getting out of hand. With the recent release of Donkey Kong Bonanza came the new Donkey Kong and Pauline amiibo, which is super cool, but it costs $30. Up until July of 2021, for my research, every amiibo cost $15.99, some are even cheaper in double packs, but that ended with the release of the Zelda and Loftwing amiibo, which is awesome, but it cost $25. Even after that one-off increase, amiibo stayed at $15.99 until the release of the Switch 2, where we've already seen 4 $30 amiibo for Tears of the Kingdom, plus 1 for Donkey Kong, and it gets worse, the new Street Fighter 6 amiibo costs $40 and there's 3 of them. Sure, the quality of amiibo since they first launched in 2014 has gotten way better, but $40 is pushing it. Subscribe please. This Switch 2 case that could break your console is getting fixed for free. Earlier this month it came out that the D-Brown Switch 2 kill switch case had a flaw where if you held the console with one hand, the Joy-Con had a chance to disconnect. Luckily, the folks at D-Brown are making things right by sending everyone who bought the case, faulty or not, a free Joy-Con grip replacement, now remodeled with their Joy-Lock system to fix the issue. If you already have this case or have one on the way, you should get an email from D-Brown on how to get a replacement for completely free, plus a bonus product to fix another issue. The kill switch case came with an alternate dock that sat in front of your current one, but sometimes it would be hard to remove the console without the 2 docks sliding apart, so the new shipments also come with friction pads to fix that issue. Subscribe please. Here's the most popular games on the Switch 2 after its 7th week. In the top 15, the bottom 10 games have a 4-6 split between first and third party, but all 4 first party games are Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom Switch 2 editions and upgrade packs. Deltarune, which has been in the top 15 since launch, is now gone, along with the deluxe edition for Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 3+4. Fantasy Life: The Girl Who Steals Time is now in its lowest spot ever, falling from 4th to 8th, and Shadow Labyrinth, which was in 15th place last week, has climbed all the way to 6th. Mario Kart World once again starts off the top 5, followed by No Man's Sky, which has been absent for 2 weeks, but is back after going on sale. And Cyberpunk 2077, which took a 1-week break from the top 5, is now back in 3rd. In 2nd, we have the Mario Party Jamboree upgrade pack, which isn't even out yet. And in 1st, you can probably guess, we have Donkey Kong Bonanza holding strong. Place your bets in the comments and see you next week. Subscribe please. It took the Pokemon Company 29 years to make a battle simulator, but Pokemon Champions is on the way. This game seems to fix a problem set by Legends Arceus that had no online battles, therefore no competitive format, leaving competitive players stuck in Sword and Shield. With Legends CA coming soon, we can assume the same is true, so the Pokemon Company created Pokemon Champions to let players move on from Scarlet and Violet. This game also has more freedom to bring back old mechanics like Megas or old formats without the need to fit them into a story, which will lead to some crazy tactics. First revealed earlier this year, with more news dropping today, this battle simulator is available on Switch, Switch 2, and mobile, and it's gonna be crazy. Subscribe please. Here's everything you need to know about the new Pokemon Legends ZA trailer. First off, obviously we have the new Mega Dragonite, which adopts some of Dragonaire's features, but we also learned that Mega Pokemon can spawn in the wild and you team up with other in-game trainers to take them down. We're introduced to a ton of new characters, some of them members of Team MZ alongside the player. We meet the leader of the Rust Syndicate, which seems to be the evil team in this game. We see a detective virtually from X and Y, and a character who seems to be the professor. This game is full on character customization with different hairstyles and tons of different coloring options, and we see lots of actual outfits unlike in Scarlet and Violet, and Furfrou can get haircuts too. And finally, the pre-order bonus, anyone who gets the game within the first 4 months will get a free Ralts that will evolve into Mega Gardevoir, and digital buyers who purchase in the same time frame get 100 free Pokeballs. If you want to see my live reaction to this trailer, it's down below or right here. Subscribe please. You can get these 4 shiny legendaries in Pokemon Scarlet and Violet for free. Starting today until September 15th, the shiny Treasure of Ruin Pokemon will be rotating in and out of 5-star raids, starting with Wo-Shen, then swapping every 2 weeks. If 1 million trainers defeat each Pokemon, the next week everyone can receive a shiny of that Pokemon for free, and for every 100,000 wins past the target, we get 40 Terra Shards with a maximum of 400. Here's all the dates for the battles and when you can claim the rewards through Mystery Gift if we get them, but everything expires on September 30th. Currently, this is the only way to get these Pokemon shiny as they're shiny locked in the main game. I'll post reminder videos when each comes out, so make sure to subscribe please. A new Switch 2 bundle is coming soon. At launch, you had the option to buy just the console for $450, or you could get Mario Kart World bundled in for $500, saving you some money if you're gonna buy the game anyways. But if you haven't bought the console yet and you like Pokemon, it's your lucky day. The same type of bundle was just announced for Pokemon Legends EA and is releasing alongside the game on October 16th. Like the Mario Kart bundle, you get an okay looking box and a code to download the game, but other than that, it's just a normal Switch 2. Sadly, this isn't like some of the old Switch bundles where you got a cool carrying case and exclusive Joy-Cons, but if this is your kind of thing, go save $20. Subscribe please. The next Pokemon Go event is massive, literally. Pokemon Go Fest Max Finale is a semi-free event which features Zashi and Zamazenta, all the previously released Gigantamax Pokemon, and obtainable for the first time out of Sword and Shield, Eternatus. This Pokemon can only be caught once during the event, but we're told to get lots of candy from the free pass and even more from the probably too expensive paid one. The event takes place on August 23rd and 24th from 10 to 6 local time, but make sure to claim this code before August 3rd to get research for a free G-Max Galar starter. You don't need to buy the pass, you can get Eternatus for free, but paid members also get raised shiny odds for the Dynamax Pokemon and an Eternatus helmet character item. Subscribe please. This new Pokemon game has a massive hidden price tag. In the recent Pokemon Presents, we got our first look at a new Switch, Switch 2, and mobile game called Pokemon Friends. This simple game lets you play some simple puzzles and collect in-game plushies, and it's free on mobile, $10 on the Switch, but that's just the start. On the mobile version, once you start playing, you'll soon learn you can only play a few puzzles per day, or you can pay $10 for infinite plays and a bit more content. This pack is included in the $10 Switch version, but there's more. On both versions, there's a bonus puzzle pack number 1 for $15 and puzzle pack number 2 for another $15. I'll be honest, this game is kind of fun, but $35, $50 for me in Canada, that's crazy. Subscribe please. Here's the most popular games on the Switch 2 after its 8th week. In the top 15, the bottom 10 have only 3 first-party games, being the Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom Switch 2 editions and the Tears of the Kingdom upgrade pack, but after being on the list since launch, the Breath of the Wild upgrade pack has finally been eliminated. Street Fighter 6, which was in the same boat, Hogwarts Legacy, which held 13th place replaced since week 4, and Shadow Labyrinth, which was here for 2 weeks, are all gone, being replaced by 3 new games: Wild Hearts, No Sleep for Konami Dante, and WWE 2K25, RP Hulk Hogan. Other than that, the list looks pretty similar to last week, but for the second time since launch, Cyberpunk 2077 has fallen out of the top 5, now in 6th, followed by once again Mario Kart World, and in 4th, No Man's Sky, still on sale. In 3rd, we have a new addition to the list, the Mario Party Jamboree plus TV game, followed by the upgrade pack with the silver, and Donkey Kong Bonanza holding strong in 1st. Place your bets in the comments and see you next week. Subscribe please. A new Nintendo Lego set was just revealed, and for once, it's not that expensive. Back in 2020, we got a set based on the original Nintendo Entertainment System, and now we just got our first look at the upcoming Lego Game Boy set releasing October 1st. This near-scale model has 421 pieces, including 3 interchangeable backgrounds, and has 2 different games that can be built then put in the back just like the real console. This set is listed as 18+ and seems to use some advanced building techniques, including pushable front buttons, and it comes with a stand for the console and game, so it'll be great for displaying. Finally, for the price, surprisingly it's not too crazy, $60 USD or $80 for me here in Canada. This set is actually pretty cool. Comment your thoughts. Subscribe please. Pokemon is opening an amusement park and it looks awesome. In the recent Pokemon Presents, we got our first look at Pokepark Kanto, not the game, which is opening in early 2026. This attraction has 2 main areas, the first being Sedgetown, which features the basics like a Pokemon Center, Pokemart, and even a gym, and seems to have some basic rides like a spinning Pikachu carousel and a merry-go-round. They also have the Forest area, which spans nearly half a kilometer and showcases different terrains that's filled with over 600 different species of Pokemon. This park is in addition to the pre-existing Yamiori Land in Tokyo, but so far Google Maps only shows this building, which looks like the entrance, also seen in this Reddit post with a battle stage. Subscribe please. Mario Kart World just got a new update and they finally listened to the community. A few weeks ago in the previous update, the chance of getting intermediate tracks in online races was increased, which nobody asked for or liked. Luckily in the new update this was changed, and now the chance of getting 3 lap courses has been increased along with some other cool changes. Now once you're eliminated in Knockout Tour, you can choose who you want to spectate, which wasn't in the game before, and CPUs in all modes have been quote made weaker, so I might be able to unlock mirror mode now. There's also some small driving changes which aren't in the changelog, but have led to tons of new world records. Subscribe please.